Good morning. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Happy Monday. Here's Brennan with our announcements.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, November 18th, and it's a Green Day. On Wednesday, November 20th, St. Johnsbury Academy is hosting an all-day meeting for the Agency of Education. There will be 30 participants that need to be able to park on campus for that meeting. The school has decided that we will use the general parking in the 7 visitor spots at the fieldhouse entrance. If you park in the general parking spaces on the south and west side of the fieldhouse, you will need to park down at the overflow parking near the baseball field for that day. Tomorrow, we will have an Alice drill. The training will take place during the afternoon hours. The Outing Club will go climbing today after school at North Country Climbing Center. See Mr. Holden or Miss Greenlaw in Student Life to go sign up. Dare to explore. Attention book clubbers. We are trying to select our books for the remainder of the year. Check your school emails and vote on the books that you would be interested in reading by the end of the day. Not on our email list, but interested in voting, reach out to Mr. Dembski to be included in our emails. The winners for this round of the Student Life Bulletin Board Competition challenges are in. Our guess that Hilltopper was Mrs. Angel and the brain teaser was vetoed. A lot of students entered answers for guess that Hilltopper, but no one was correct. The winner for the brain teaser is Lily Laskowski. The adult winner for the brain teaser is Miss Colino. The adult winner for guess that Hilltopper is Mrs. Jones. Please come to Student Life for your prizes. The new challenges are on the bulletin board. Happy birthday today to Miranda Karen, and a special happy birthday to Mabel Ritchie from her advisory. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Brennan. Congratulations are in order to Eilish Murphy, who has been selected for the 2024 Vermont Soccer Coaches Association All-State Girls Team. Great job, Eilish. And the Scholars Bowl team traveled to a tournament at Spalding on Friday. The team went undefeated over 5 rounds, and congratulations go out to team members R11, Aiden McLean, Chase Smith, Zach Alamuddin, and Jonah Razor. Congratulations to Scholars Bowl. I also want to send out congratulations to the entire crew, the acting crew, the backstage crew, the tech crew for the Baskerville show. I hope you had a chance to see it last week. It was a great show. I had a lot of fun on Friday night watching. So Mr. Kane's first production was a huge success. The tech was great. The scene changes were really fun, well choreographed and executed, and the performances were outstanding. So let's give our Academy Theater a nice round of applause. A couple reminders as we're now well into cooler weather, which I'll talk about in a moment. Many of you wear hooded sweatshirts to school, and that is fine before school and in between classes. So if that is one of your outer layers, that's just fine. However, as a reminder, please remember you have to have a dress code shirt on underneath. So hooded sweatshirts should come off at the beginning of class, and you have to have something on that's dress code and certainly not a t-shirt. So seeing more and more t-shirts on around school, so advisors and classroom teachers, thanks for chatting with your students at the beginning of class throughout the day. And now it's my pleasure to turn the stage over for a club promotion, so please welcome members of the Cornhole Club.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Bryce McCormick. I transferred here this past fall. And I'm an avid cornhole player, and I wanted to bring my love to the sport to the school. So for my capstone, I started the cornhole club here, and we meet in Morse Lobby every Thursday from 3:30 to 4:30, and it's a great way to have some friendly competition, show people what you can do, and socialize. It's a fun hobby, and Emmy is whooping up on Derek right now, so that's a great thing. But yeah, Morse Lobby every Thursday, 3:30 to 4:30. Come throw some bags and have some fun, friendly competition. Mr. Lovett does not look like a seasoned veteran, like he normally does, but oh boy. Yeah, we need more competition, so clearly. All right, thank you.
Mr. Lovett, I see your game there. First, you started off showing off, and then you went to throwing the bags away. I know if you ever see Mr. Lovett play cornhole, he doesn't really miss. So he's a ringer. So I think he needs a little competition as well. But consider coming out for this club; it's a lot of fun. So I looked at the weather forecast, as I typically do at the start of each week, both for my own personal preference, because I like to know what the week holds in terms of recreating and being outside, but it's also a habit that I developed as the athletic director. So looking at the weather all the time is something that ADs do all over the state. You have to make calls early in the morning. You have to be good at predicting and diagnosing what you see on the various weather apps. And what I saw, I guess, is sort of a mixed bit of news. So it doesn't look like we're going to see any snow for at least 2 weeks. And the almanac this year says that this is going to be a relatively mild winter. So we're not supposed to see the precipitation that we might normally see, and temperatures are slated to be a little bit above normal this winter. So for me, that again is a mixed blessing because I like recreating in the winter. And while my activities have changed certainly over the years in terms of what I focused on, whether it's being up on the mountain and skiing at Burke or skiing backcountry, and now my passion is fat biking through the winter, and so I look forward to seeing a little bit of snow. I think it adds a layer of challenge, and there's a feeling of accomplishment after you do something against the elements and you get through it successfully and have a little fun and certainly get some exercise. So again, we're not going to see the snow for a couple of weeks. And so the other part of me, I'll remind you, I've shared before that we live at the end of a dead end, and there's a bend in the road right where we live. And so when the plows do come, so when we get the snow, and especially when it's heavy and wet, the plows come down the road, and there's just no other way to do it. I don't fault the driver at all, and I don't think it's intentional. I used to wonder whether the drivers were out to get me, but as they push snow down the dead end, it piles up right in front of our garage and right into where our cars are parked. So again, I don't love shoveling snow. It's not something that I necessarily like to do as much as I would say fat biking, but it's something that I have to do. It's a responsibility that I have. And in this month where we're talking about gratitude, it's really about the perception that you have, the perspective that you have on a situation, and how you choose to address it. And so I always think that in November, I'm reminded as I start to dread a little bit, the part of me that dreads the snow piling up behind my garage and cars, I'm reminded that I need to have a good attitude as I go about that work. And it doesn't always happen that way. I don't always succeed. I'm fallible just like everyone in this room. And sometimes I take a poor attitude and I gripe as I go out and after I've cleaned the walks and in front of the garage, then the plow comes and piles it up. And now I've got to go move another 14, 15 inches, whatever it happens to be. Now I've got to go move that, and that's going to take up some of my time in the morning. But as I've shared before, choosing how we approach the tasks that are in front of us, sometimes the mundane things that we simply have to do, choosing how we approach it is always an option. So how we set our minds, what we decide, we think about that situation, and trying to have an attitude that reflects being grateful. And I shared this last year, but I'll share it again. I'm grateful when I finally get the right perspective and I look at the fact that I get to shovel behind my cars because I'm a homeowner. I recognize the fact that there are millions in the United States who do not have the blessing of being a homeowner, right? Or even having safe living, being in an apartment or otherwise, right? They don't get that opportunity. I do. I see that as a blessing when I have the right attitude. I look at the fact, too, that I'm hustling to clear my drive because I am gainfully employed. I have the blessing of coming here each and every day. I have a job. I'm able to take care of my family, take care of the house that's there. Not everyone can say that. And so I recognize that in my perspective in that moment when I'm being positive and I'm choosing to be grateful changes how I see things, even when work is tough. And so there's not one of us in this room who has a job who doesn't have some aspect of that job that can be challenging at times. But if we're grateful and we put the right perspective, we overlay an attitude of being grateful, an attitude of gratitude, it becomes a little bit easier. And so I would challenge us as we continue to go through. I personally would have loved to have woken up and instead of drizzle, I would have enjoyed seeing some snow coming down. But again, I challenge you this week as you go through this last full week before we have a little respite at the end of next week to put on a good attitude, to be mindful of it. When you catch yourself being tempted to be negative, put on a mindset of being grateful. And that's done by trying to gain larger perspective. Think about others who may not be as fortunate as you, as fortunate as us, and consider that as you go through your day. I hope you have a great Monday. Faculty.